In order to better manage and curate and nurture a large community, or even a small niche community, really understanding the needs of those users, what their passions are, what drives them, what gets them interested, what's likely to make them lean forward, what's likely to rile them. I mean, all of those things which are to do with attitudes, approaches, and so on. But also, you know, when are they logging on? How are they logging on? Are they mainly mobile users? Are they, you know, what is the kind of the pace of the conversation that is going to be appropriate to them, and how can we help to nurture that? And of course then balancing that with our editorial requirements and the things that we want to put out there, the things that we need to put out there. We're not running a community site, we're running a news site that has a healthy community, has several healthy communities, and from that perspective we need to balance those two needs all the time. In terms of who's looking after it, we have a number of newish roles that we've created within the organisation called community coordinators, and those people tend to be from journalistic backgrounds or with some journalism training, or at least with some sort of rooting in journalism, but they're actually acting as a bridge between the audience, or I wouldn't even call them the audience, the community and the editorial team. Not because the editorial team don't have to do it, but actually because we want, in certain areas such as news, comment is free, our development blog, culture and so on, we've said what we need is somebody to kind of be a conduit, somebody who can be very present, who can be constantly scanning, you know, Twitter, scanning the conversations, the hundreds of conversations that are taking place on our own site and elsewhere, to answer questions, to be helpful in those spaces. It's acting like a sort of a community conductor, if you like. I mean that in the lightning sense rather than the, you know, the music sense. Somebody who can actually be present, and that works both ways. So it's not just somebody being a representative of us in the community, it's also going into editorial meetings and saying, here's some ideas that came up, this is something that people seem to be asking for, can we do a little more on this and that, and it's working really well for us at the moment. But those people are not the only ones who are tasked with community activity on our site. In fact, somebody asked me the other day, they said, who's responsible for the quality of conversation on the Guardian site? I said, well, the short answer is you've got a handful of moderators and a handful of community coordinators. The long answer is everybody. Everybody that works here, 800 people on the editorial floor, everybody who contributes to our site above the line, everybody who visits our site and comments on it below the line, everybody who visits our site and doesn't comment on it. The whole point about community is people, you want to get to a state where people feel like they actually care about the quality of that environment. It's like Neighbourhood Watch, you want to move to a place where people feel actually that it's worth preserving, or that there's something there that's worth interest, that's worth, if they spot a problem, it's worth reporting. So everybody has a responsibility in any kind of community. The way that we put that in our community standards is the platform belongs to us, but the conversation belongs to everybody. So everyone needs to kind of take their part in helping us to make it into an appropriate and interesting space.